Hey everyone, it's Robdoggierob. So in today's video, I'm going to be covering the Zdps Wrath of the Wastes Barbarian for patch 2.4.2 and or season 7. So in today's video, I will be covering the gear, the legendary gems, cubed items, paragon point distribution, skills, passives, and skill ruins as well. Before I get started, I want to mention I'm really a big fan of Whirlwind Barbarians or of any kind, ZDPS or DPS. I actually prefer I prefer playing a Whirlwind ZDPS Barbarian over a Raycore Charge Barbarian because of the fact that it's just considerably more laid back and it's really easy to play. Plus, I've always been a fan of Whirlwind Barbarians since Diablo 3 launch, so I just really like the playstyle. So if you haven't tried it, I really recommend trying it. They both obviously have their own benefits and their own strengths and weaknesses, but as far as just having fun and enjoying the game, I really prefer the ZDPS Whirlwind Barbarian over the Raycores. I will be making a video of the Raycore Barbarian in the future, so look out for that. And at the end of this video, I will be including a little clip, or actually, for the most part, an entire Rift run of me doing this build with a group in a Greater Rift. I don't believe it's anything very high. I think it was like a 60 or 65. This build is actually capable of doing 90 plus quite easily, as long as you have a group that can actually DPS it. But no, actually, we did an 80. My video is an 80, I believe. So regardless, the video at the end will just be to show the capabilities of this build, so be sure to stick around and actually watch the gameplay of it so you can actually see how this build functions and performs for yourself. I will be doing a brief explanation of how this build plays out, but you have to see it for yourself to truly understand. So before I ramble anymore, let's go ahead and jump into the skills. My left click, I have Rend Mutilate. Right click, Whirlwind Blood Funnel. Number 1 key, Warcry Veteran's Warning. Threatening Shout, Falter, Ancient Spear, Harpoon, Ignore Pain, Iron Hide. First passive, Superstition, Tough as Nails, Inspiring Presence, and Nerves of Steel. Let's move on to the gear. Leoric's Crown for the obvious benefit of the 93% extra effects of the gem, and you're going to be socketing a diamond in your helm. That rolls anywhere from 75 to 100% additional bonus effect. I rolled a solid 93, not bad. Mantle of Channeling, you're going to be wanting this for the 25% damage reduction from the bonus at the bottom right there. Chest, I have no idea how to pronounce that. You're going to be wanting this for the 50% damage reduction while you're high on resources, 90% or higher. It can roll 90 to 95. Neck, S of Johan, or some people pronounce Johan, some people pronounce the J silent. I'm not quite sure which one is correct. You're going to be, this is really nice because it has a pull effect and it slows enemies. There's a couple different flexible pieces for this. Some people run Hellfire amulets. This is just a good amulet I found. Mine has no survivability stats. Preferably you'd want something with vitality or some sort of resist. This is just the one I got, and I rolled crit chance on it and cooldown reduction. Bracer, Nemesis Bracers for the obvious shrine effect. Spawning elite on a shrine. Belt, again, I don't know how to pronounce this. You're going to be wanting this for the movement speed increase from activating Warcry, which you should be doing quite often to clear ground faster. Set gloves, waist gloves. Set legs. Set boots. Ring number 1, Oculus Ring for the damage circle I'll put down on the ground. A 70 to 85% damage range. I got an 81. Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac for the cooldown on resource spending attacks, 1 second on a random skill. Weapon number 1, Bolcathos Warrior's Blood. Obviously, I'm going to pair that with a Bolcathos Solemn Vow. Now we're going to go a little bit over the item effects. I know I already covered a little bit of it, but set bonus number 2 is going to increase your rend damage by 500%. Kind of irrelevant, but it's also going to increase its duration by 15 seconds. There's the effect right there. Affected enemies are chilled and take 10% increased damage from all sources, so you're going to effectively be increasing that by 15 seconds. Set bonus number 4, during Whirlwind, take 50% damage reduction, and your rend deals triple damage. Again, that damage portion of it is kind of pointless, but what you're wanting there is the 50% damage reduction you'll be benefiting from. That paired with your shoulders and your chest bonus, you're going to be gaining massive damage reduction. This is a pretty tanky build, as it should be, because you're a ZDPS. In a way, you're kind of one of the tanks in the group, so you're going to be really wanting those kinds of damage reductions. And as you'll notice, with the mobility, the speed, and the damage reductions you run, this is going to be a very survivable build. It's one of the things I really like about it. You're going to be a very vital part of the group, but you're also not really going to be doing a whole lot of dying, which is what really makes this really entertaining. You're important, you're survivable, and you're serving a purpose. I guess serving a purpose and important are kind of the same thing. Anyways, so let's jump into the Paragon point distribution. So for core points, you're going to want to max out your movement speed. I only needed to get to 14% because as you can see, I have 11% on my boots. 14 and 11 make 25. Then you want to dump the rest of it into Vitality. 1,265 points of Vitality from my 253 points that I dumped into it. You're going to be want to maximizing your health. I'm sitting at 1.3 million right now. So movement speed, then Vitality. Offense, you're going to want to run crit chance, cooldown reduction, attack speed, then crit damage. Crit damage lasts, obviously, because you're not a damage class by any means. You're going to want to be focusing on getting crit hit chance on all your gear and maxing out your Paragon point crit chance because the weapon you use in the cube spawns globes. Not going to go into that any further. We'll get to that when I get to the cube. Defense, you want to go resist all, armor, life, life regen. Utilities, life on hit, resource cost reduction, area damage, and gold find. Both probably equally useless when you're not getting gold in greater rifts and you're not really doing damage. So life on hit, then resource cost reduction. Moving on, we'll go to the cube. This is what I was talking about when I said you want to maximize your crit hit chance. You want crit chance on every piece that you could possibly get. I have it in some places and I don't have it in other places. That's why I rolled the crit chance on the neck right there. No crit chance on my helm because I just needed more survivability. But you want to maximize your crit hit chance for this weapon right here. Critical hits have a 4% chance to spawn a health globe. Now, a lot of classes obviously benefit from health globes because obvious survivability benefits from it. But like Witch Doctors, I believe, one of the Witch Doctors I run with mentions how he has a damage increase whenever we pick up health globes. So having that will increase your group's damage potentially, and it will definitely increase their survivability. So that's all around just a really great weapon to have in the cube. Armor slot, we have Pride of Cassius, increases duration of Ignore Pain by 6 seconds. With your Ring of the Zodiac, you should basically be having your Ignore Pain up at all times. The Ring of the Zodiac is going to knock off cooldown time off of skills randomly here and there as you are spending resources. And increases in the duration by 6 seconds will make it very easy to keep your Ignore Pain up. And you want to keep that up at all times because it's going to greatly increase your group's survivability. Next piece we're going to have the jewelry slot. We have Ring of Royal Grandeur. Again, I'm horrible with pronunciations. So you're going to want to have this, obviously, because you're only going to be rocking 1, 2, 3 pieces of the waist set, and we want the 4-piece bonus. So the 4th piece will come from your ring. All right, so a brief little explanation of how this build works is you're going to be whirlwinding around with your right click and rending as necessary with your left click. This is just how I prefer to play. You can arrange your buttons however you want as you see fit. Keeping your war cry up at all times and your Ignore Pain up at all times. Sorry, that may be a little loud. Let's disable the sounds. And as you get into groups, you are going to want to be using your Threatening Shout to increase the amount of damage they take. Because as you can see right there, they falter and take 25% increased damage from all sources. Activating that in the center of the group so that the majority of the group takes as much damage as possible, and using your Ancient Spear chain to pull enemies to the desired location. Your main purpose is going to be going ahead of the group, setting up the next group of mobs, finding shrines, grouping up elites, and basically setting up the next room or rooms for your group to DPS. You want to make it to where they can just walk in, wreck everything, move on. When the elite is relatively low on health, you're going to want to move on. You don't want to leave too early because you want to provide as much of your buffs and benefits as possible, and then take off, go and move on to another room, and set up the next area for your group again, and rinse and repeat until the rift is done. Now, if your group is struggling, you can talk with them and maybe stick around to the very end of the elite's death. But I typically leave, depending on how the group is doing, I leave around 15% health to 30-ish% health when they drop down to 15 to 30. Again, that's really dependent on how the group does without you. Some groups want you to leave a little sooner, some groups will want you to leave a little later. Again, that's just a rough estimate of when you want to leave. So that's basically how the build plays. Like I said before, stick around after the video. You're actually going to see me actually play this and see what I mean by stick around or not stick around, and see roughly when I'm taking off and setting up the next group. But I think that's about all I've got for today. Again, like I always say, this is what I have transmogged. I like to pick bright colors because I like to keep track of myself on the screen. So in the video, I think I went with something a little more crazy than that. I think I went with some rainbow selection, but that's just me. I like to make my character really noticeable so I can see myself at all times, and so the group can see me at all times, but that's just me. I think it helps. Anyways, I believe that's all I have for today. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave me a comment or a like, or maybe even consider subscribing. Like I said before, I'm trying to make this into a little bit of a part-time job to where I can do this more often. So anything you got, leave me a comment in the comment section below. I really appreciate any input or anything you like, anything you have to say. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling. That's about all I've got for today's video. Look out for the Raycore video coming here in a couple of days. I will see you next time.